Assalamualaikum and good morning, students. Okay, I'm here today to share with all of you some tips and best practice that you can use to answer STPM Semester 3 paper ICT. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Puan Noorainun Sultan Ghany from Kolej Tingkatan Enam Haji Zainul Abidin. All right, let's go to the content. All right, so STPM paper 3 will be information information system development. So there are 5 topics that you will cover in this course. The first one will be information system development. The second one, system development life cycle. Third one, fundamental of relational database systems. Database system planning, design and administration. The last one will be query language. So I will go through all these topics and I will highlight to you what are the important points that you have to take note so that it will help you in answering the STPM question. Okay, let's start with the first chapter, Information System Development. Okay, for this chapter, there will be 4 subtopics here. The first one is Purpose of Analysis, System and Design. The second one will be manual system versus computerized system. Okay, to differentiate, to compare, you need to have a few features. Okay, so the features that you will use to compare will be scalability, cost, long-term cost, processing speed, how manual and computerized system are processed, and then accuracy, which one is more accurate, and then data storage, which one need more data storage, and then reporting, the accuracy of reporting, and also the last one will be accessibility. All right, next will be personnel in system development information system. Here you have to identify who are the personnel involved in developing the system, who are the team that will involve. All right, okay, next. Okay, for types of information system, there are 4 types of information system and you need to know all the characteristic and also advantages, disadvantages, personnel involved in this system. Okay, the first one is TPS, the second one is MIS, the third one will be DSS, and the fourth one will be ES. Okay, so you need to know because question will ask you to compare. Compare between TPS and MIS. Okay, who are the personnel involved? What are their duties and responsibility in that system? Example of the system and so on. So these are the type of question will be asked for this topic. All right, next we move on to the second one. System development life cycle. This is the most important topic. Okay, here we will learn about all the phases in system development life cycle. Okay, the first one will be introduction to system development life cycle. Okay, to do a project, to do a system, database system, okay, you need to use some models. So we have 3 types of models. The first one is waterfall model. The second one is spiral model. And the third one will be R&D model. Okay, R&D means rapid application development model. So what you learn here will be you must know which model suitable for which project because each of these model is different. They have pro and cons for the models. Okay, so you need to know which one is suitable. There are big project, small project, and so on. So which one is suitable for which? Okay, next will be planning phase. Okay, in planning phase, okay, you have 4 activities in planning phase. Next will be analysis phase. For analysis phase, you will have 2 activities, meaning after you gather all the information in planning phase, you will use the data to analyze. So what you do, you will use models. Okay, again, you will use model to analyze your data. So there are 3 models available: process modeling, logical modeling, and conceptual data modeling. So here you will practice how to design the model, okay, using correct symbol. So you need to know how to use correct symbol. Okay, don't mix up with the symbol with all these three models. Okay. Next will be design phase. Okay, in design phase, there are two activities involved. Okay, here you will design the structure of the phase, the structure of the system, all right? Next will be implementation phase, meaning after you finish with your system is ready to implement, then you have to follow all the 7 activities. Okay, for example, we have coding, testing, implementation, and so on. Okay, so you must do all this activity before you can implement your system to your client. Okay, next will be maintenance phase. Okay, so after finish, implement your system in your client, then you have to do 3 activities to maintain the system. All right, so here, meaning you have finished with the system. Okay, next topic will be fundamentals of relational database system. So you will learn about the system itself. Okay, so what are the system, how the system will process your data. Okay, so here you will learn why data is important. Next will be what are the type of data operations. So actually there are 3 types of data operation that you will use to manipulate the data. Okay. And then the characteristic of good data, because we cannot simply take all the data. So you must evaluate whether the data is good or not. Okay, next is data hierarchy. And then data, database system, and database management system. Okay, the terms looks like the same, but actually it's different. Okay, so question will ask you how to differentiate between database, database system, and database management system. Okay, next will be importance of the system. Okay, why is it important? Okay, before using it and after using it, why is it important? So you will learn here. And then component of database systems, and then function of database system component, database versus file processing system. Okay, so here again, you have to compare, okay, what is database system and how it will be if you use file processing system rather than database system. So this is a comparison thing. And then next is component of key and data integrity. Okay, that's all for chapter 3. Okay, now we move on to chapter 4, database systems, planning, design, and administration. Okay, this is a very important topic. Okay, most of the question, marks given for this topic is a very big mark. Okay, so there are 7 subtopics here. The first one is data redundancy, data inconsistency, data independency, data abstraction in database system. All right, so you will identify what is meant by data redundancy. Why we cannot have data redundancy in a system. Okay, what happen if you have data redundancy? So all these things that you will be discussed here. Okay, next will be data modeling. Okay, data modeling is important. Okay, next is ER diagram. Again, you have to illustrate a diagram using symbols, okay, to show the relationship between the tables that you have created in database system. And then after you create ER diagram, then next will be the cardinality. Okay, you have to number the cardinality correctly. All right, and the next will be normalization, and then subtopic number 6 will be importance of an effective database administration, and the last one will be duties and responsibilities of database administrator. All right, so this is a very big topic. And the last topic will be query language. All right, so query language is a bit simple. What you need to know, you have to remember all the commands. So here you have to write the command. So you need to remember what is the suitable command to be used to call or to require whatever the report wants. All right. So some of the command I have listed here. Okay. So in order to write a query language, they will ask you to add, to delete, to update, to arrange, to retrieve, to create table and define views based on the database that you have created. So these are the command. Okay, so you will write insert, okay, avg, as, select, sum, drop, alter, where, order by, create, form, from, delete, update, and create views. So these are the most used command in SQL. All right, so I did some analysis, okay, to show the question asked based on chapters. So I did analysis from 2020 until 2024. So every chapter, they will have question in semester 3 paper. Okay, let's see the latest. We have chapter 1. Usually chapter 1 will be number 1 question. First question will be in chapter 1 and then followed by other chapters. All right. So for question number 6 and 7 for section B, they can choose, they will give you any of these chapters, not necessary chapter 4 and 5, any chapters. All right. So student must master all the chapters. We don't have like, okay, I spot this chapter. I don't want to read this chapter. No, all chapters will be asked in the question. So you have to be master for all chapters. All right, awesome. Okay, now. Okay, now. We have finished review all the content of semester 3 ICT database and management system. Okay, now let's look at some question that I have selected for you. They were asked in STPM question. So I will help you to analyze the question and guide you how to answer it correctly. All right. So we have, as you all know, for STPM paper, we have two sections, A and B. Section A, we have 5 compulsory questions and marks given 35. And section B, you have 2 questions and you have to choose one. 15 marks for that and altogether 50 marks. All right, the first question, usually they will ask you to, you have to read question carefully. Okay, so and you have to identify the verbs. So these are the example of verb that will be given. So state, describe, compare, explain, discuss, give the meaning, identify, name, list, give example, justify, draw, and write SQL expression. So you have to identify and know what to do. All right, next tip. Okay, look at the mark allocated accordingly. All right. If they give you 6 marks, maybe they ask only 3 points and you have to elaborate the points. Okay, so that's why it's important to know the marks allocated. Okay, next, answer in table if the question is to compare. Okay, why you need to answer in table? Because we want to make the marker easy to see our answers. Okay, if you write in table, so they can compare your answer side by side. If you write in sentences or in paragraph form, very hard to find the difference. Okay, so we make the work of the marker easy. All right. All right. Most answers are in point form, okay, or structured. Avoid writing essays. So in ICT, we don't write essay, so you write only structured answers. Next, leave space for one answer to another. So this is to make sure your answer sheet is neat. Okay. So some students, they just write from the top to end, from top to bottom, full, and then if the markers look at your paper, then it's very hard to mark. All right. Okay, next, use correct symbols for drawing. This is important. And then next, use both sides of answer sheet. All right, that's some tips for section A. For section B, okay, we have 2 questions. So which question to choose? So you have to make your mind carefully and then choose the answer that you can do. Okay, don't answer both. We don't recommend you to answer both questions. So for your information, okay, ICT paper will be marked online. So all the papers will be scanned and we will put in the computer, and it will be computerized. So don't waste your time to answer both questions. Only answer one question. Okay, so long question, usually they will give you scenario and it will be a very long question because marks given is 15 marks. Okay, next, sketch the solution as a guideline. So if possible, you sketch at any paper, then you get your answer right, and then you can answer on the real paper. Okay, next, choose wisely. Best plan to answer only one question. Don't waste your time. And then avoid making mistakes. Student will lose mark if they miss out any steps or notes. Okay, so after you write your question, your answers, please check, okay, whether you miss out anything. Okay. Okay, let's look at the question that I have prepared for you. Okay, so all these questions that I prepared are STPM question. Okay, the first one. There are several system development methodologies that could be used in system analysis and design, such as waterfall model, rapid application development, and a spiral model. Okay, this is from chapter 1. Okay, state 3 purpose of conducting system analysis and design. So marks given 3 marks, they are asking for 3 purpose. So we know that each purpose will be provided 1 mark. Okay, so this is a very straightforward question. Okay, second one is state 2 difference between rapid application development and waterfall model based on their usage. Okay, here they ask you the difference, but the features that you have to write is their usage. Okay, so see the question carefully. So you have to compare the usage of these two models. So the suggested answer. All right, so look at the verb, marks given, and also how many they want. All right. Okay, so the suggested answer. Okay, question asked for 3. So I gave you more than 3 here. Okay, so to understand the process or activity as well as business need in order to identify the requirement of the system. Okay, next, to provide proper documentation to understand the current system as well as design for the solution, to propose a solution design, a solution that fulfill the user's need, and then to implement or develop a proposed solution smoothly in a team, or to launch or implement the solution without much problem. So these are the suggested answer for the purpose of system design. Okay, next will be to compare between rapid model and waterfall model. So I advise you to use table. So I prepared here table. So when you compare, you have to compare in same features. Okay, so for rapid model, it will be faster approach. So if this is fast, that one will be slower. Okay, so each activity phase must be completed before it can be processed to the next stage. All right. More flexible and responsive to change and reduce development time, allow developer to modify, alter the application during the process of development. Okay, for waterfall model, must wait according to stage by stage. Okay, so it takes time. And then for rapid model, allow customer or end user to see the system and make comment. Therefore, the software developer team could respond to the customer, end user comment, and suggestion will be faster. Okay, for waterfall model, must wait until all the tasks or module to be completed first before you can deliver it to the customer. Okay, so these are the differences between rapid model and waterfall model. Okay, so you can answer in simple sentence. Not necessary you should follow this. Okay, this is a suggestion. Okay, let's look at second example. Okay, we have a scenario here and you are given all the points, important points. Okay, so you need to use all these points to answer the question. So let's read. Okay, your school plans to change the merit management for the student co-curricular activities from manual to computerized system. You are assigned to prepare a short proposal to develop the system for managing the merits. The system works as follow. So these are the processing of the system. Okay, what the system will do. All users have their own username and password to access the system. The teacher keys in the detail of the activity that they eligible for merits. Students are required to register the activity that they have joined. A teacher approves the student's merit. The system print a receipt to show the merit that they have obtained by the student. So all this information you must show in context diagram. 9 marks for that. So a very big mark. Okay, so there are tips to draw context diagram. First of all, you have to identify external data source. So from what we have read just now, there are two external data source. So the data source will be for teacher and also for student. And then next, identify the system. Obviously, we have to do system for core curricular management system. So you draw the symbol, rectangle with line, and then you put 0 because this is context diagram. You must put 0 there. And then the system's name is co-curricular activities merit management system. You must write system at the end. Okay, whatever you write at the top, co-curricular activity system also will do. But you must write system at the end. Okay, next, you need to arrange the context diagram accordingly. So usually the system will be at the center and then the external data will be at the left and right. Okay, like this. All right, next we will just draw arrows, okay, to show the flow, and you have to write the notes, okay, to show what's happening, and your notes must be in nouns. You cannot use verb, okay, must use nouns. All right. Okay, so this is the suggested answer. Student, system, and then teacher. So what's happening here? All this flow is from the question. A student use their username and password to access the system. Teacher also use the username and password to access the system. Okay, so what the student will do? The student will register their activities into the system, and then teacher will access and give merit mark, and teacher also will make an approval. Okay, then after making an approval, so the student will get their merit mark and they can access the receipt. So, okay, that will be the context diagram, and marks given 9 marks for that. Okay, next we look at example 3 for ER diagram. Okay, this is also most favorite question given. An entity relationship diagram is a logical data representation for an organization. The basic construct of an ER diagram are entities, attribute, and relationship. Okay, so you need to know the difference between what is entity, what is attribute, and what is relationship. Okay, explain each of the following terminologies. Candidate key, foreign key, weak entity, multiple attribute. Okay, so this direct question, straightforward question. So you just write the meaning. Okay, candidate key is one or more attribute that are able to choose as primary key. Foreign key is a key, is a field or collection of field in one table that uniquely identify a row of another table in the same table. And then weak entity is existence depends upon existence of another entity. All right. Multi-value attribute is an attribute that has more than one value. For example, phone number, maybe one customer will have more than one phone number. So this is definition. Okay, so you can give example if you want, but marks given only 1 mark for each. So it's okay if you write directly. All right. Next. Okay, example 4. Okay, we have a scenario. Okay, usually this kind of question will be in section A. Yeah? Okay, 9 marks given. Okay, a clinic wishes to develop a database system on patient, doctor, and medical records. a patient may undergo many examinations by only one doctor at a time. Okay, each and every sentence given have clue inside. So you have to be very careful. Okay, likewise, a doctor may perform examination on many patients, but only one patient at a time. Quite confusing, but still continue reading. A patient could undergo only one examination in a day. Okay, details required to be recorded on each examination are date, time, and name of the examination. Okay, so if you don't understand, keep on reading, you repeat and keep on reading, and you can jot down. Okay, you take out the important points and you jot down so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so here you have to write a relational schema. Okay, based on the above scenario, indicate the primary key of each entity. All right. So if students do not know what is relational schema, they cannot answer this question. Okay, what is relational schema? All right. So you just identify what are the entities, and then you identify the relationship and also the attribute. So these are the suggested answer. Okay, so we have patient, doctor, and medical record. This is given in the question. Okay, so now you list the attribute for each. All right, so how many attribute you want to list? So maybe 3 or 4 enough. Okay, not too little. Okay, if you just give 2, it's not enough. 3 or 4 will do. Okay, so I give you a few. Patient with patient ID, patient name, IC number, date of birth, gender, address, telephone number, and status. Doctor with doctor name, doctor IC number, date of birth, gender, address, telephone number, and salary. Okay, medical record code, date of examination, time of examination, name of examination, result, course, and medicine prescription. Okay. Now, we have 3 separate table. Okay, in order to do relation, you need to join the tables. So how to join? We will use primary key, okay, which will exist as foreign key. Okay, so where to write? Okay, so the line should be like this. Okay, so Dr. ID is a primary key here, but exists as a foreign key here. Patient ID is a primary key in patient table and exists as a foreign key. So the purpose of writing foreign key at the middle here is to join the table. Okay, when you get this, then only you can answer relational schema. Just copy. So the relational schema will be, okay, patient with all the attribute inside, doctor, all the attribute, and the most important here is the medical record, which is at the center, and you have to include the foreign key. Okay, usually for foreign key, we will put it in the bracket and we write FK, or if you write here, we italic them. Okay, to show that is a foreign key. Okay, for primary key, because the question just now mentioned, identify the primary key. So how to show the primary key? Don't forget to underline. Primary key, we underline. Okay, so we have marks here for underline. So if you don't underline, you miss the mark. Okay, so read the question carefully. Okay, next. Okay, welcome back, student. Okay, are you okay? So we continue with the last part of the our sharing session. All right. Okay, now I would like to share with you some tips how to answer SQL question. Okay, actually SQL question quite easy, but most of the student confused. Okay, which command to write? Which one is suitable to write? The syntax to write. So please make sure you write correct syntax. Okay, use the attribute name given in the question. Okay, so the spelling must be correct according to the question. Okay, you cannot simply modify. Next, make sure select the correct attribute for display and the condition. Next, make sure the word from, where, or the by are used in correct sequence. So you must write from first. Next will be where, and the last will be order by. Okay, you cannot skip the sequence, it's wrong. The syntax will be wrong. Alright, next is make sure the quotation, okay, used accordingly to data type. The quotation, okay, sometimes you can use single quotation, sometimes you can use double quotation. Both is correct. Okay, and then at the end of each command, you must write semicolon because this is a coding. Okay, so you must end up with semicolon. If miss semicolon, we will deduct mark. Okay. Okay, we look at the question for SQL command. So you are given a table with data inside. Okay, a relation that represents several records of cars sold every month is shown in the sales table below. Okay, the word sale here is capital because it shows the relation of this table. Okay, write SQL expression for each of the following query. Okay, so based on this table, you have to write the query. List all salesmen who sold car in January and arrange the name of the salesman in descending order based on the unit of car sold. So many condition here, only 2 marks. Okay, so list all. Okay, this is the key. List all. Okay, the condition, car sold in January. Another condition, you have to arrange the name in descending order. And then it should be according to unit car sold. Okay, so a few conditions here. So how to write SQL? Okay, we use select name of salesman from sale where month is January. So you have to put quotation. Order by unit sold in descending order. Okay, so do it in, you start each command in new line. Okay, because you can see it clearly. Okay, it's correct if you put it in one line, but it's better to put it line by line like this. It is neat. Okay, next, list all salesmen who earn commission between RM2000 and 5000 in January. So there are 2 conditions here. Okay, one is the commission between 2000 to 5000. Another condition will be in February. So how to write? List all. Okay, how to list all? Again, select name of salesman from sales where, okay, commission between 2000 and 5000 and the month will be February. All right. So don't include RM. RM is not included. Only the number. Take only the number. Okay. So because RM is just a question. So data we just key in number. We don't key in RM in data. Okay. So this is how we write using a few conditions. We use N. All right. We use N. Okay. Example number 5. List all information for sales that exceeds 5 units of car in a month. The list of information should be sorted according to month. Okay, so again, you have a few conditions here. Okay, select all information from sales where units sold more than exceed 5, order by month. Okay, sorted according to month. Okay, order by month. Okay, so is it ascending or descending? Understood, it is ascending order. So for ascending order, usually we don't write ASC. Okay, but it's okay if you write ASC, but usually we don't write. Okay, understood, it is in ascending order. Okay, next, display the total number of cars sold every month. Okay, so select month, total number of cars, meaning you have to calculate the sum. So SUM, command SUM. Okay, you want to sum what? You want to sum the unit sold. Okay, and the sum will be displayed as total sum. Okay, so S, you must put S to show that this sum will be displayed here as total sold. Okay, from sales group by month because you want to according to every month. Okay, so these are the suggested answer. Only 2 marks given. Okay. Okay, display the average commission received by the salesman in January. So here again, you have to do calculation. to get the average. So there are commands to get average. Select average. So you want to average what? You want to average the commission. Okay, and the average will be displayed as average. Okay, so select average commission RM, okay, as average. Okay, from sales, where month is January, because they ask for only in January. So 2 marks there. So the display will be like this. This is the example of display. So you write average here. So it will come out here, average. And this is the calculation for this. Okay, this 3.86 come according to this output. Okay. Okay, we move on to question number 6. Okay, part of the relation database schema for Shah Mega Company is as follow. Okay, this is the schema given. Okay, underline means primary key. Okay, this is primary key, primary key, primary key, and we identify there are foreign key there. Skill code. Okay, skill code is a foreign key because it exists as a primary key here. So that one is foreign key. All right. So the question. List all employee who work in IT department of the company. Okay, so condition IT department. Okay, so select all from employee where department is IT. Okay, and then end up with semicolon. 3 marks. Okay, this is quite easy. Okay, next, list the name of the project that have been developed by Shah Mega Company in Subang. So this is a location given, Subang. This one also quite easy. Okay, select project name from project where location is Subang. Okay, very direct, semicolon. Okay, this one, the next question, list the pay rate for employee E070470. Condition given, employee number. So, select pay rate from skill employee. Okay, why is it 2 tables? Because now you have to get the pay rate and employee. Pay rate is from skill, employee is from employee table. 2 different table involved, so you have to list the table involved. From which table we get this data. Okay, now this is the tricky part here where skill.skill code. Okay, this is primary key. Employee.skill code. That one is foreign key. So you have to list this. Okay, if you do not list this, the SQL cannot find the relationship between 2 tables. Okay, this is to find the relationship between 2 tables. So you must write down the foreign key and primary key here. Then only the condition and employee number is this one. Okay, so you use and because you have 2 conditions here. This one and this one. Alright, so this is the tricky part. So just take note how to write the SQL command if you have to look for data from 2 or 3 tables. Okay, look for the foreign key and primary key. Okay, now we move on to normalization, another quite tough question. Okay, normalization, you analyze the relation given by looking at the data in the table, evaluate if there are any repeating group. Okay, so first you must make sure no repeating group. If there are repeating group, you have to remove the repeating group, then only you can do the normalization. Okay, so identify the normal form. So there are 3 normal forms. Okay, if the relation is not in the first normal form, meaning is unnormalized form, or you can write 0 normal form. Okay. Determine the function dependency. So there are 3 types of function dependency: full, partial, and transitive dependency. And student must know the condition which will be used to justify why this relation is in full, partial, and transitive dependency. So you need to know the conditions. Okay, next. Finally, normalize the relation given until all the attribute fully depends on its primary key and no repeating group exists. In each normal form, write the complete schema for each relation. So this is important. At the end of each normal form, you have to rewrite the schema. Until you finish all 3 normal form, you have to rewrite all the schemas. Okay, if there is no changes of the schema for the relation from previous normal form, rewrite the same schema in the new normal form. So at the end, you must have all those normal form from first, second, and third normal form. Okay, so let's analyze this question. An order form for an online book store is shown below. All right, so if given in table form like this, okay, so student must have skill how to analyze. Okay, we have order form and then order number. Definitely this will be the primary key. Then you have customer number, another primary key. And then all the information about customer, about product, and also the date. Okay, so how to relate them. So if you draw ER diagram, okay, so the ER diagram will look like this. We have customer here, and then product here, and then the relationship between customer and product is order. All right, so order, we'll put it in this symbol because order, we have order date. All right, so this is how we draw the ER diagram if given. But question didn't ask for ER diagram. They asked for normalization. Okay. Okay, this is just to show how ER diagram we can draw from this form. Okay, the ER diagram will look like this. Okay, next question. We have a scenario here. Jelajah Art Gallery wishes to maintain data of customer, artist, and painting. So there are 3 attributes. Sorry, there are 3 entities. The gallery may have several paintings by an artist at one time. So painting may be bought and sold several times. The gallery may sell a painting, then buy the painting back at the different date and resell it. A sample of report customer purchase is shown in diagram below. Okay, so this is the example of the data given. Okay, so similar to the previous question just now, we have customer number, telephone number, artist ID, painting ID. Okay, so you identify the primary key and the foreign key. Okay, next. Question asks, construct the relational schema. So you have to write the relational schema based on the table given. Okay, include all the attribute, determine the primary key. Okay, only 2 marks given. Okay, identify all the dependencies that exist in the relation. Okay, so this is, you must identify, is it the full functional dependency, partial or transitive dependency? And then normalize it until third normal form. Show all the necessary steps and determine the primary key in each relation. Okay, so this one you have to show the process of normalization from first normal form until the third normal form. 9 marks given. Okay, we look at the first one. Okay, the schema, customer report. Okay, you have to put all the data, all the entity given. Customer number, customer name, address, phone number, artist ID, artist name, paint ID, paint title, purchase date, and price. Okay, that's why marks given only 2. Okay, next. From here, you have to determine what are the dependencies. You have full and partial. Okay, so this is quite challenging, where you have to identify what it meant by full functional dependency, meaning the attribute will fully depend on its primary key. So for full, usually you will have more than one primary key like this. Okay, customer number, paint ID, purchase date will determine the price. Okay, this art, the price is given based on this day, this paint, and for this customer. That's why it is full functional dependencies. Okay, for partial, meaning half-half. Half depend on one primary key, another one depends on another primary key. So we have 2, customer number and paint ID. So customer name, address, and phone number. depends on customer number. Paint title, artist ID and artist name depends on paint ID. So this depend on this. This paint done by this artist and the title is this one and the name of the artist is this one. Okay, so this is how we determine partial dependency. Okay, and then one more, transitive dependency. Okay, artist name depends on artist ID. Okay, both are not primary key. They are attributes. So this attribute depends on this attribute. That's why it is a transitive dependency. Okay, so it's quite tough to identify, especially for the transitive dependency. Okay, so now the process of normalization. Okay, first you have to remove the repeating group. Okay, so after you remove the repeating group, you will get the same, because here we don't have repeating group. Okay, so you remove the repeating group. So this is the schema. Okay, next you remove the partial dependency. Okay, in previous question, we already identified full and partial. So just remove from the schema. So you get like this. Okay, customer name, address and phone number depends on customer number and you write the schema for that. This schema based on this functional dependency. Okay, functional dependency you must put arrow. Alright, so after you finish doing functional dependency, you write the schema. Okay, and then next schema, paint ID, paint title, and so on. Okay, and then customer art, customer number, paint ID, and purchase date and price. Okay, all these are from previous functional dependency that you have listed. Okay, so the third one will be you remove the transitive dependency. Okay, just now we have transitive dependency, so you remove. Relation paint have transitive dependency. Okay, so given paint, you have transitive dependency where artist name depends on artist ID. So you have to remove that. Okay, so after you remove, it become like this. You cannot use the same name. Paint become paint 1. Paint ID, paint title, artist ID. Artist name is removed. So it become a new schema. So it will be separate. Okay, artist, artist ID, artist name, artist ID here become primary key. Okay, then in previous normal form, you have another 2 schema. Just copy. You have to rewrite. Okay, this is from previous. Okay, from second normal form, no changes, just rewrite. So at the end of this normalization, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 schema, relational schema. Okay, from the beginning you have 1. After you do all the normalization, you have 4 schema here. Okay. Okay, this is another type of question. They give in form of diagram with arrows like this to show that the functional dependency. Okay, so the part of data dependency in database of school is shown in the diagram below. Determine the type of functional dependency shown above and then explain the relation which is involved in the functional dependency. Okay, here what you understand is underlined, subject code is underlined. Both are primary keys. These 2 primary keys determine student name, class, class teacher, subject mark. Okay. Student ID, only this, determine student name. Then you have class, determine subject mark. So from here, we can write the schema. Okay, so partial dependency, student name, determine student ID. Transitive dependency, class teacher, class, because both are attributes. Okay, this is primary key. These both are attributes. Okay, and then full functional dependency, I said just now, we have 2 primary keys. Okay, 2 primary keys determine student name, class, class teacher, and student mark. Okay, so this is full, transitive, and this is partial. Okay, so you partial dependency, student's name depends on only one part of the primary key. Okay, rewrite. You explain. This is how to explain. Okay, transitive dependency. Student mark depends on attribute class, which is not the primary key. If both are attributes. Full functional dependency. All these fully depend on primary key, student ID, and student code. Okay, so next we move on to ER diagram. Okay, next we move on to ER diagram. Okay, so some tips to draw ER diagram, because usually ER diagram will given a very big mark. Okay, decide which notation to use. Okay, don't mix up the notation for different models. So if you learn Chan model, you use only Chan model. Okay, if you learn Crowfoot, you use Crowfoot. Okay, so here I will use Chan model. Okay, use correct symbol for the notation. Name the entity and its attribute correctly. State the primary key using underline. Label each relationship using verb. Words like may, one or more than one, only one will determine which cardinality. So these are the keywords that you have to identify so that it will help you in writing the cardinality. Okay, so this is the difference between Chan notation and Crowfoot. So I will use Chan. Okay, the scenario given, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Harmoni provides various clubs of student co-curricular activities. Each student is required to join more than one club, and a club may have many students. Okay, may have many students. One club may have many students. Okay, the membership, year, post, and attendance of the student must be kept for each club, and each club has a unique number and name. The student has assigned 2 teachers to supervise a club. 2 teachers. Okay, but a teacher supervise only one club at a time. Okay. The school keeps the information of the unique number, name, email address of each organization. Each teacher have unique number, name, qualification. Each student in the school has unique student number, name, and identification card. So these are the scenario given. Read carefully. Okay. Highlight the cardinality given. Okay. So question asks you to draw ER diagram to show all the entities, attribute, primary keys, relationship, cardinality to the model of the scenario above. So this kind of question were given in section B, 15 marks. Okay, then you map the ER diagram. You have drawn in A to the relationship database schema, indicate all the primary key and foreign key for marks. Okay, now how to draw ER diagram. Okay. First, okay, you read the sentence and you find out there are relationship between student and club. So the relationship will be joined. Student join club. Okay, next. Okay, we have this sentence in the question just now. Each student join more than one club. Okay, minimum one, and they can join more. So 1, M. Okay, and then a club may have many students. So there are many clubs and it have many students. So many to many. Next, teacher supervise club. Okay, so the ER diagram should be drawn top to bottom. So teacher will be at the top. Teacher supervise club. So the cardinalities. Okay, minimum one teacher will supervise one club at a time, and they will have 2 teachers in one club. So 1, 2, 2 teachers supervise a club. So all this given in the question. Okay, next, a teacher supervise only one club at a time. So 1, 1. All right. Okay, next, okay, you draw the attributes and underline the primary keys. Okay, so this one given. Club ID is a primary key. Then for teacher, teacher ID is a primary key. Okay, next, organization. Okay, organization ID is a primary key. So now we want to relate organization with the club, because organization will give organization will sponsor the club. Okay, so Organization sponsor club. Okay, it will sponsor only one club at a time and may not. Okay, each club may or may not be sponsored. So 0,1. Okay, if they sponsor 1. If they don't want to sponsor, 0. 0 to 1. And if they sponsor, 1,1. So these are the ER diagram for the scenario given. Okay, so this is crow food. Okay, same answers but different diagram used. Okay, same thing. Now, based on your ER diagram, come out with a schema. So 1, 2, 3, 4, student, club, teacher, and organization. And you just copy whatever you draw just now in ER diagram and make sure you underline your primary key. And then identify the foreign key. So here, I put it in italic, the foreign key. Okay, student ID, student club ID, and club ID is the foreign key. All right. That's all, student. I hope you gain knowledge from the sharing just now, and I hope you will succeed in answering your STPM paper 3. Thank you, students. Bye.